Absolutely anything that happens today can wake you up. It's not about the detail of what woke you up. That's just a catalyst. All right? It's the fact that you are actually allowing yourself to go through a process of expansion.
So we're going to talk about the current situation, but what we all need to think about is what is the solution moving forward.
Now what we're going to talk about is the double edge of the legal weapon. The sword has got two edges and we can use it also, but we've not been taught how to do it.
I am another yourself. We are each other. We are literally one single consciousness experiencing itself subjectively.
Look at the word nutrition. It starts with nut, which comes from the Latin origin nux, which means light. And rishin is a process of change. So nutrition is a process of light.
You and I can change the world, and I hope you're enjoying today, from what we eat 2 or 3 times a day. It is this simple.
A diet like this will give you enough nutrition. It's not tasteless and boring, it's actually delicious. Fresh vegetables, fresh goods, they're so tasty, they're full of flavor, they're full of nutrients, they're alive. There's so much to do with it, and also it's really inspiring.
This information has saved you or one of your family. When you bring in other treatments that can make a significant difference to mankind.
Australians tend to take their sovereignty for granted. That sovereignty is now being contested. We must become more aware of the issues, the players, and be prepared to defend our sovereignty if we are to maintain it. Now, if their sovereignty was indisputable, what do they mean by if we are to maintain it? And the fact that it is in dispute, and the fact that it is disputable, proves clearly that all the bullshit that we've been taught about Arthur Phillip arriving and sticking a rag in a stick in the ground at Sydney Cove means that he took that for the King of England is utter crap.
Put your hand up if you think when you pay a fine, either council or state penalties, that it goes back to the council to use and it's all put into revenue and infrastructure and roads and all that sort of stuff. Does anyone, I used to think of that. I thought, oh, well, it goes back to the council, it goes to pay all that other stuff. Wrong. It's a privately owned family company. The reality is that we consent to be part of this system. Okay, we submit, submitting under, applications, applicate meaning to beg. We beg to be under the jurisdiction, juris the law, diction to speak. We submit and beg to be under their jurisdiction.
So what are our alternatives? As we know now, there are structures in the private that we can use as an alternative or in conjunction with some of those public entities.
What you once believed to be the ceiling was actually just the floor. You can climb on top of the box, and now the sky is the limit. It's a matter of looking at these things.
So we believe that children should be in schools, not brothels. So we identify girls at high risk of being targeted by traffickers. We get her a uniform and a bike, we fill a backpack full of books and pens and pencils and everything she needs for school. And we visit her regularly so that she can be in school and stay in school, so that we keep her safe. So we empower with an education in order to prevent sex trafficking.
So it's out here. Consciousness exists out here in the field. It's not local to your body. And it's the same for everybody. We're all in this together. We're all different biological computers experiencing one aspect of the same consciousness from a different perspective.
How do I physically raise the vibration of this body? And I'll tell you how. Focus on the highest forms of nutrition. The highest forms of nutrition are the highest vibratory rate of nutrition. Getting out in the sun, breathing deeply, drinking the water, eating the plants that are directly receiving their nutrition from that.
Let food be thy medicine, and medicine be thy food. I think that says it all.
Food is our connection to the environment. If something's going to change seriously in an environmental movement, it's actually from being directly connected to your food source. 45% of the Earth's surface is for growing food for us, the humans. If we converted 40% of that land, 40% of the 45%, from conventional to organic, that's the same as taking 750 million cars off the road. That's every car on Earth today.
Remember, whenever they say the word terminal, all they're saying is, in context, we can only treat so much with the current methods we use. And when you use cut, poison and burn, it should be no surprise that palliative care is given out more than cure. 1 in 2 Aussies will get melanoma by the time they're 70, right? So you've got to take away, the future is preventative medicine. And the Kirkland ones, it took 2 years to test this, that's the thing that keeps your skin cancer at the back.
And anywhere where the population would rise against the bankers, they would transport it. This is one of the main places they transported it. So, although that was the history of this place, let me tell you, because I work in the court systems, this is a prison colony. Nothing has changed.
There's the Commonwealth of Australia in upper and lower case, as represented by the Constitution. That's the government. And then there's the Commonwealth of Australia, which is a registered corporation on the SEC, as is the ATO. Don't take my word for it, look it up. They are there to do business.
And their charter is about maximising the amount of fines and other money penalties paid before enforcement.
So the main difference between a public entity and a private entity is that the private entities do not have an ACN, an ABN or a TFN. They're not required to, and they don't have them. Therefore, they have not applied for those. Therefore, they don't need to comply with the rules. As I say there, you do not apply. Therefore, you don't need to comply.
It's about going to an independent tribunal, the European Court of Human Rights, and saying the British have screwed up. They've not only failed to enforce the laws that they passed, but they've directly breached it. And that an order should come from the court to fix that problem. You'll be able to cross the street to the other part of this country where the laws are more fair. Okay?
And effectively what I'm trying to say here is you come out with us guys and stop being slaves.
Remember, this is every bit an internal process than an external process, where you realise the fraud that's gone on, you realise how powerful you are, you start realising the terminology that's been used against you, what real property is, and take it on internally. And that's where your liberation is going to come from.
We did a ceremony as it was described in the book. The totem for the site was said to have been a falcon. Within 30 seconds of starting the ceremony, we had a falcon come in over the top of us, and he was that low that we could hear the wind going across his wings. Within 5 minutes of starting the ceremony and following it the way it was drafted, we had 8 falcons doing an infinity symbol over the top of us. And given that the site itself refers to or is bound in the story of creation and endless life, it's really interesting.
When we met Ruth, she said something that will stick with me forever. She said that sometimes she borrows a bicycle from a neighbour so that she can cycle to the school, to stand at the school gate, look through the school gate at the kids in the classroom learning. And she hopes that one day, perhaps she too can sit inside the classroom. We had to help her, we can't walk away from that. So we immediately enrolled her on our program, we got her some clothes, we got her a uniform, the bike, and she's in school and she loves it. Every time we go and visit her, she comes running up to us, so eager to show us the letters that she's learning. She's only grade 1.
And when you can live your life with that understanding, suddenly all the barriers between people break down, all the division is gone, and there is the solution. Because we live in a very, very divided society, which is what allows all of this to keep going. The social pathogens, the religious pathogens, the economic pathogens, the way we judge ourselves, the way we're separate from each other, and we're trained to be separate from each other, and we're kept as divided as possible. Class division, race division, religious division, everything they could think of to keep people divided. There's the solution. We've got to start seeing ourselves properly so that we can see other people properly.
Larry, it's been 2 long days. What do you think, mate?
2 long days, very, very good. Many people here, different persuasions, different thoughts, different ideas, areas that I had never considered, or else areas I said, look, I can't be involved in everything, but now I am. That really affects what I'm going to do tomorrow.
Find the link or the thread back to where that inspiration came from, where that spark was truly within you, and do something with it.